Hey guys, Mike here. It's a nice chilly morning. We've had some rain. I'm working on a K-bar for a fella. His dad was a Marine, and this is going out to his dad. So I want to try and make sure I get this right. I got a little warp I need to take out. Need some profile grinding to be done on it. There's a lot of little finicky stuff, but I've got the overall profile about where I like it. Figure I'd bring you guys along with the along for the ride, and from there, after I get started, I'll take it on into the shop, do some grinding. Hey, Fortnite.
Glad to see you again, Fortnite. Yes, you were the first. As this blade has been heat treated, I have to let it come all the way up to temperature before I can do anything. I believe the warp is from the heat treat, so I'm gonna let that go for a minute before I can do any kind of. Not sure how well that shows up on camera, but there's significant warp down towards the tip. I do need to correct this before I can continue any further. As always, guys, comments are always great. Hey, I'm not going to try to pronounce your first name because I'm going to butcher it, but how you doing, Johnson? I believe we're close enough. Let's go ahead and start working. All right. I think I've got that warp most of the way out. Ania, I hope I pronounced that correctly. If you guys have any questions about what's going on in the video or what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to ask. I may not be very good at names and things of that nature, but I'm real good at explaining blacksmithing when I can get my words to word. couple little spots I want to clean up. What do you mean? What are the steps? Right now, I'm doing what's basically just clean up and fixing small errors that have been introduced into the blade. More or less, kind of planishing type work, which is just making things pretty. The blade has a slight warp and there's a little bit of a wiggle in the blade, so I need to clean that up. I need to straighten that out. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm also working on removing some deeper hammer marks, stuff like that, by pushing them to the other side. A lot of the thickness is going to have to come out of it, but that's going to have to take place in the grinding. I could do that now, but I don't know that I have the gas left over to do that. So while I could do that with the forge and easily draw that out another inch or two, I'm already kind of at the final dimensions I want as far as length and width. So now it all becomes a matter of clean up with a grinder, straighten everything out as far as making sure everything stays in the same plane, and go from there. Good question, Mark. Got a little bit of cleanup to do on the tank. Want to get the tank kind of drawn out a little thinner. That won't take as long because it's a nice rectangular shape, and that's just really easy to draw out thinner. So, but as far as the blade shape, I'm not going to mess with the blade anymore. That's going to be handled with the grinder. As long as I've got the propane to work with, I'm going to go ahead and do most of the tank with the K-bar got its name, that would be really cool. I know, but I want to see if anybody in the audience here knows. Because it's a really cool story. regardless of whether or not it's true. Else have any other questions? I see 10 viewers. I've only seen 2 or 3 people chat. So, come on, guys. I know you all have some questions. Watching, at least by what I can see, and only 1 like. That's not cool. Come on, guys, drop a like. It's free. And I share all kinds of stuff, knowledge-wise, for free. And if you don't like the video, please tell me what I can do to improve it. I'm working with what I have. I'm doing the best I can to provide you guys with some knowledge and some free entertainment. Gotta let that heat back all the way up, so I'm gonna sit here and talk to you guys next to the forge while it heats back up. If you guys are interested in having your own custom made knife, I do take orders for custom work. I also have a couple production style blades.
most of my production blades I do have cut out by a local machine shop here locally. I have them cut to shape using very high quality steel. I trust these guys. They do really good work. They cut them to shape. I do all the grinding. I do all the fit up. I do everything else. The only thing they do is cut out the materials so that I can make them faster. And as far as production goes, that's the only way I can do it because I don't have a plasma machine. I don't have a plasma torch. Hey, Subin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If not, I apologize deeply. Almost got the knife where I want it. I'm working on getting it a little tighter. But the tang, a lot of the width of it is going to have to be taken down with a grinder just so I don't screw up the aesthetic of what I'm going for. I've already got the blade pretty well shaped out. I like where the blade's at. So I'm going to stick with where the blade's at right now. The only thing I'm waiting on now is for this to come the rest of the way up to temperature. It is taking it a little while, but it's thicker material too. Typically, when I'm forging knives, I use at most 3/16 to a 1/4 inch. And I usually use 1080 or 1095. This is 5160, and 5160 behaves just a little different. After it starts to cool down, it almost does not move at all. 1095, 1080, there's a little forgiveness. 5160, there's just no forgiveness, it seems like. At least with my forging experience. Let it sit in there, come up to temperature, and I think that's all we're going to get out of it because I am losing fuel quickly. Unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the forging bit of this video. But I am going to let it cool down, and we're going to go in and work with the grinder, work with my cutoff wheels, and get it the rest of the way to shape. Probably not going to get it finished today. Definitely not going to get it heat treated.
apply a little downward pressure. That'll suck some of the heat out as well, and it'll help get it straightened up. Alright, we're out of propane, so now we're back to, as soon as this cools off, we'll be back to grinding and things of that nature. Oh yeah, that sucked a lot of heat out of it. I can feel it already. There's a lot more heat in this cold bar than there was just a moment ago when I put it on here. For those of you who are interested, what is it that interests you about blacksmithing? I know what it is for me, but I want to know what it is for the casual viewer. For the person who's not actively out there forging on their own, who's not running a blacksmithing shop or anything like that, what is it about the process of blacksmithing that excites you or interests you in what is currently a hobby and second business for me, or second source of income for me, that interests you? I mean, you're watching the video, so obviously there's some level or measure of interest. So I'm curious, what is it that drives you to come and check out this channel or other blacksmithing channels? Absolutely true, Hawk. Not exactly. I've heard that before, though I do not remember where. So you'll have to remind me who said that. All right. Now, what I just did would typically be a big no-no, but I know the steel. I know the way it reacts. It was already down to a black cold temperature. There you go. Pretty well on straight. Now we've got a little bit of cleanup work to do. Guys, this is going to be really loud. I'm going to have to stop the grinder in order to be able to hear you guys. So if I'm in the middle of something and I'm not answering your question right away, excuse me. If I'm in the middle of doing something and I don't answer your question right away, please don't take offense. This is going to be ridiculously loud. Some of you may want to turn your volume off while I'm grinding. And that's fine. I understand. But I've got to get some grinding done on this. I've got to get this cleaned up and get it close to ready for handle work and fit up like that. So I apologize in advance. Oh, I absolutely agree with the meaning there, Hawk. But I'm trying to remember who said it, because I've heard that before. probably where I heard it then, Hawk.
All right, so I don't see any cracks. I don't see any problems with this blade. You can see I put a fairly deep ricasso in there from where the plunge line is going to start to where the guard is. A lot of cleanup at this point. I'm going to go ahead and end the video for today here. I've already been live for 36 minutes, so I don't want to take up everybody's time. I don't want to ruin everybody's day because I know this is getting into the tedium of blacksmithing and bladesmithing. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. But yeah, Hawk, I absolutely recognized that. I was curious as to where I recognized it from. I was actually surprised to hear George Lucas, but it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I was really wondering who said that. If you guys are interested in a custom blade or even one of my production pieces, please go check out my Facebook page, same name. Tell me you can, drop a message. Whenever you drop a message, let me know that you came from the YouTube live feed, and I will cut you a deal. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I have to get back inside and get working on some stuff inside the house. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting on it. Hopefully, y'all have a wonderful rest of the weekend. I know I'm going to. Thank you again for watching, and take care of yourselves.